I just wanted to get on here and just show you guys quick some good resources that you can use as you go through and study with McGraw-Hill Connect. With this program, you have a lot of really cool stuff that you are capable of doing, and I want to make sure that you can do those things and not miss out on anything because you paid for it. So I'm just going to show you what this is all about here in this list loading instructions. On week 3. So if you click on this list loading instructions document, it will go through and show you how to load a list of structures that I personally have customized for you. Now, without this list of customized structures, you would have tons and tons of structures that we never even learned showing up on your practice. And so this just kind of streamlines that just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and load this axial skeleton list. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to copy this real quick here. And then I'm going to go into Connect here. And you need to scroll down on this left-hand side down to Anatomy and Physiology Revealed. Then you're going to go up here to My Course Content. And you're going to add list and paste that code there. And it says it's been added. So I'm going to close that. And what I can see then is that if I go to skeletal system, all of the terms that you are responsible for knowing are going to show up here. Now, what do you do with this? This list has gone into the course, into all of the different areas that you can use to study. So I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to go up and I'm going to select the skeletal system. And there's 2 tabs here. There's a My Course Content and then there's an All Content. The My Course Content are going to be those lists that you load that are specific to our course. If you were to click All Content, you're going to end up getting all of these terms that we may or may not have gone over. So what I would recommend if you're going to use this dissector, which by the way is this little scalpel, go up to My Course Content, Skeleton, and it will show you the terms that I want you to know. Now, you're going to click on these and then it'll highlight them for you on the picture. Now, let's say that you wanted to test yourself over how many of these you know. So there's different options up here for study. You can do a 3D model, you can do practice atlas, animations, histology, imaging. I'm going to click on quiz. And it's loading the course content that you loaded in list format. So just terms that you are responsible for knowing. And let's just say that we want to do the appendicular skeleton. And we're going to do click to identify because I want to have them tell me a term and I want to be able to tell them what it is. All right, so you're in here and it says click on the lateral condyle of the tibia. So looking at your picture here, this is an anterior view. So this is going to be lateral, this is going to be medial. So I'm going to click here. And it's going to tell me, yes, I'm correct. Then I can go on to the next question. Now I clicked all terms that I would need to know. So there's 107 questions in here that you can do as a quiz. Or if you don't have time to do all of that, you can go back in here, do appendicular skeleton, click to identify. You can select 10 or 25 questions if you don't have time to do all of them. But irregardless, you can have them ask you to find something and you click on it. Okay, so that's an option. Let's see here. So that would be quiz. Let's see. How about axial skeleton? Let's load that one and see what happens here. So if I want to do the axial skeleton and do a quiz. Okay, now it's showing up here. So now my axial skeleton is also loaded on here. So if I wanted to do click to identify, I'm going to do 10 questions, and I want to do middle cranial fossa, right? All right, other things that you can do on here, histology. So this one you'd have to do all content. I don't have a specific list for the histology of bone. However, if you were to click on one of these, you would be able to see the bone. What I do have are some terms here that you would need to know. Hyaline cartilage. Okay, we didn't talk about all of these things, but you can at least look at the picture. The dissector, obviously, if you are in my course content and want to look at the dissector, what's all on the occipital bone that I'm responsible for, right? I need to know where the occipital protuberance is. Now, let's just say that you are still unfamiliar or want more information on that structure. You can come over here on the left and you can click the I. It'll pronounce it for you.
External occipital protuberance.
It'll show you some other views. It will talk about what it does and where it's at. And then you can do that for all of these if you wanted. You can create a link if you want to save a link specifically to that structure. You can take a picture of it to your computer. You can look at the body from an overall view. So if you see just this bone, you're like, I can't picture that on the whole body. You can go here. You can change your highlight color if you're into that kind of thing. And you can either highlight it or not. So if you are like, okay, foramen magnum, I think it's here. And then you can check yourself, right? And then it'll highlight it. Or you can also use an arrow if you prefer to arrow instead of that. So there's a lot of really cool stuff on here that you can do as we get into like some of the muscles and things like that. I'll load lists for this for you, but you can start to dissect layers by layers after that when we get into muscles. So really play around with APR. It's a really great resource. Just play with it. My course content, again, is where you're going to load all of your lists. So it's a good idea to just get in the habit of loading all the lists that I post, load them in here, and then you can select which list you would like to view, and then it will populate as you go into your activities for your quizzes and things. Another resource that I just want to show you real quick is going to be this practice atlas. So on the home page, again, right underneath your ebook, there's a practice atlas. And if you go to contents, you can go to, let's just say that I want to do the sutures of the skull from a lateral view. Okay, and then it will highlight them as you click these. So I'm like, okay, I want to quiz myself. Lambdoid suture, that's going to be here. Am I right? I'm right. Squamous suture here, right? And then it'll go through those. And then you can click next. And there's tons and tons and tons and tons of questions on here. So these are just some other ways that you can use Connect to Study. So if you have any questions about that, just let me know. McGraw-Hill has some really good tutorials as well. And I really just encourage you all to use the resources that you paid for.